A quick word here from our sponsor of the month. For the month of December, our sponsors are Fox and Hounds Dog Walking and Pet Visiting Services. If you want your dog walking, if you want your dog taken to the vet, or if you just want someone to come sit with your dog so they're not lonely, Jules has it covered at Fox and Hounds. Check her out on Facebook, Fox and Hounds Dog Walking and Pet Visiting Services, or you can drop her an email, which is jules@foxandhoundsdogwalking.co.uk. Thank you, Jules, for offering your services for this month. One more time, our sponsor of the month for December is Fox and Hounds Dog Walking and Pet Visiting Services. Thank you, guys, and on with the episode. Sexy Rexy. What are you up to?
No, it's all right.
Are you
keep going. Carry on, go on. I'll do this.
So how many people you got tuning into this then?
We're reaching towards $1,000 a month.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. We started off with around 200. We've been going for a year, and it's steadily just been climbing. Yeah. And we've really started to. It's only the last couple of months people have started to really really get in touch with what we're doing, and we thought being part in the town, around the people, in here would really help, and it really has. Yeah. It really has. I mean, we got recognised and put on the Monopoly board, the Shrewsbury Monopoly board.
I noticed. Yeah, I've seen it in the shops. Yeah.
So we're part of that.
Waterstones were doing a big display of it.
Yeah.
I think I saw it there. Mm-hmm. So, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you. So we've got Kevin Horak. Who's a Horak? Horak.
It's been called many things, but Horak generally does it. Sort of Czechish descent.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he's Colin Smith-Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. There's lots of Horaks world over, but mine's Horak, but there's double R's and double C's.
Okay.
Lots of K's. So
I've got a friend. He doesn't mind me shouting him out. Matt Hurubis. And he's one of the most English guys you'll ever meet. And I was just like, "Where's that name come from?" He's like, "I think it's Czechoslovakian." I don't know.
It does. Sounds like something out of a Potter novel. Doesn't it? Has he got any special skills, talents? Wizardry?
No, he is a bit of a wizard, actually. Yeah.
Can you say what sort of wizard, or is it?
He's not really. I mean, he's one of the.
He's my old friend.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Thank you for messaging me and be like, I want to talk about my book, because actually, you brought us in a copy of this book and it looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Mildred the cat lady. Mildred the crazy cat lady. Let's say it properly, Alex.
Yeah, you got to say it properly.
Yeah, and who designed the cover for this?
It's an artist I've worked with. This is my 5th book, and this is an artist I've worked with for some years, and he's helped me out on a couple of my other books. And what I did is I wrote him a brief, like an art brief. He's not from round here, and I sent him photography, actually not of Shrewsbury, but specifically of buildings and designs that typically Tudor, from the Georgian period, Tudor period. And he came back with the initial first designs. I just thought, you know what, that looks like wild carp, and that's just from the brief, just from photography, not of wild carp. And so as I saw the initial designs, I thought we are going with that.
That's what when I was just looking at that, I was thinking, is that the wild? That looks like the wild carp.
It does from maybe an earlier time.
Before
you had cars.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. Which is quite posh here, isn't it? You give away like free bounties and galaxies and what else we got here.
Break out the humbugs.
Humbugs,
yeah.
The thing is, I have to stay away from those humbugs, because otherwise you
won't be able to talk to you. Do we get like a free scotch as well? Or is it,
Unfortunately not.
It's just humbugs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One day when we have our own biscuit enterprises.
When you're all big and grown up.
Yeah, we'll have our own distillery.
Speaking of being big and grown up, we were just looking at your website, actually. And where it says famous faces on your website, that got me intrigued. because you're with like Michael Jack. Are these genuine pictures of you with people?
I'm useless at Photoshop, so I don't know why somebody would want to Photoshop themselves next to.
It's just unbelievable.
Someone,
you're with like some of the biggest names in the world, like
There was.
Yeah. What was that all about then? What?
Well, I was very much in two minds about putting those things onto the website, But now, since I kind of retired from that business 2.5 years ago to write full time, and I kind of DJ and stuff at weekends, and then when I meet people through writing and DJing and things like that, and if the form of business is ever mentioned, and they just kind of say, "Oh, you should put something." And I was really not too sure about it, which is why I kind of ripped the "what's it" out of myself on the commentary. About it. So it's just that it's not going like, "Hey, look at me." It's just like, well, this is actually just something I did in the past. So.
It does add a bit of a claim to you, though. The fact that you've got this experience, being around that sort of world. So.
20 years, 20 years.
So what was that what you were doing then? Is this just through the DJing thing then, or like when
I ran a bodyguarding business for
bodyguarding? Oh, that's interesting.
That's the link.
What do you think I was doing standing next to him looking serious?
Yeah, I know.
Smiling.
Michael Jackson, you do look like you're about to,
Well, actually, that should be an advert for Weight Watchers. I'm like about 4 stone.
I must admit, when I looked at this, I thought, is this linked to your DJing? But now you've just said bodyguarding with the people that you're with. You are. You can see it.
There was one picture with someone when we had a night off, and we.
Is that the one with Pamela? That's a smiley looking.
Actually, that was a different night. There was
50 Cent. There's 50 Cent.
Yeah,
you can see, I think I had a serious face there. Unfortunately, you can't sort of smile and look happy. It's a very, very serious business. But 20 years I did that for, 17 years running my own firm.
Oh, wow.
That's a really interesting thing to talk about, because I know obviously you can't say too much about who you work for and what they were like, but
no, I wouldn't.
You see a different side to these, a human side to these celebrities. I mean, all we see is the music, the press conferences, the waves, but you get to have these human conversations with the celebrities that you've been working with, I guess.
I think there's a lot more to it than that, and I think celebrity is just one thing, but
exactly.
The other aspects of the business, it was the corporate side, and I've worked with politicians for a long time. So I spent quite some years sort of working at Westminster, and I'm not too sure if I'd like to be there now, since this whole political mess. Don't really want to make this a political broadcast.
No, of course not. No.
I don't know if that'd be an interesting place to work at right now or not. If I was still there, I'm not too sure whether it would be interesting or not. I think it's just
politics at the moment,
frankly, and a little embarrassing.
Sort of tearing your hair out at the moment.
Well, I have no hair left. Have you not paid attention?
Sorry, start tearing your beard out.
You say, actually, the beard's getting a bit grey now. I'm getting older, getting on a bit.
These are the last couple of days of the moustache, by the way. The moustache is going because I feel like I look like Mario's evil twin brother or something. I hate it.
If the biscuit thing doesn't work out, you could probably be a waiter at Broadside. You can look like maybe a 70s porn star. I mean, if you grow that down a little bit.
That's exactly what it is.
It does remind me of...
can you speak frankly on this, or does this have to get edited?
We are a family show, but...
We're a family show. Okay.
We can get away with that.
We'll call it adult entertainment.
Yeah.
Anyway, it could be a backup career, just saying, dude.
Well, it has been on my mind. No, we're not going down there. Just remind me
of... It's always on your mind. I really hate interviewing people. I'd just rather be out there with your moustache.
I'm just going to be one of those statues, those on you see on the side. Just look at the stash.
You could be a new Shrewsbury statue.
I deserve money just for the moustache, right?
Well, we got Darwin. I mean, you kind of... I'm against it there. I think you're really going to do something with that moustache if you got a statue.
I definitely can't wait to get rid of it. That's all I can say. It's for Movember, obviously, and a lot of the things that Movember illustrate, with more about this thing where guys have got to be blokes. You've got to be strong, and you've got to. I'm really passionate about trying to get guys out there to talk about your feelings, actually, and it doesn't have to be this alpha male thing all the time, because I think it's quite toxic.
Well, I had no idea what we were going to talk about today, so we just roll and just see what happens. But I think that's actually a good point that you're making, and about masculinity, which is a very confusing thing these days, and it can be quite toxic. And there's a group on Facebook which I'm a member of called the AF Gang, which within that group, well, it's male and female. There's about 20,000 people in it, but it's one of the only groups on Facebook that actually where you can discuss these things and you won't get criticised for it.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of quite a useful thing. And a lot of people, they will talk about things that are bothering them. And if you put it on your personal Facebook page, and people either ignore it or just say that you just sort of man up type thing, or get over it. And, but with this particular group, with the AF gang, they all have something in common, which is a love of the punk band Idols, so that kind of brings. I'm a big fan of punk and metal, and so it kind of brings everyone together. But it's a useful thing, and there you can kind of almost vent or talk about what it is, and people would listen.
It is important because I was looking at something on Facebook yesterday. It was two players from the Manchester United women's team. And I went in the comments, which is probably a really bad thing to do, and all you get is this toxic masculinity.
It's a dangerous thing you did right there.
It's the worst. I mean, it is the worst thing because I've got a lot of empathy. So like when I see things, I'm like, "Ooh, how dare you!"
What were they talking about?
They were just talking about how they have no interest in women's football. It's not a real game. Blah, blah, blah. It's all the bloke. I'm like, oh, come off it, like, you know.
I think that women's football's changed enormously.
It has changed massively. I think it was 80,000 at the last England women's game.
Actually, almost as much as I think, if not the same as the men's. Isn't it? So it's a ridiculous comment.
It is ridiculous. Well, let's talk about you. You've been this great career, what it looks like, of doing bodyguarding. Where so you went from there to sort of doing DJing after that?
No. So I ran the bodyguarding business for 17 years, and then about 2.5 years ago, I think it had gone as far as it could go. Yeah. And cut long story short, the whole you wouldn't think a business like that would be affected by economics. Yeah. But it was irrespective of what you're doing it for, and looking at threat and risk, it still would be deemed as a luxury service. And so there were cutbacks within the industry, and there were very good competitors. I mean, it's a very cutthroat business. It's a very difficult business, and generally speaking, competitors don't really talk much to each other. But there is a mutual respect, and actually some of my very good competitors started disappearing, who'd been in business for years, and that was kind of the sign that there was a change of things. And so I kind of felt that the business had gone as far as it could go. Yeah. And in the background of that, I had my record label for 11.5 years called A Wolf at Your Door. And so I sold that to another independent label down south, and based in Camden, and that the label still goes under new owners, and had a little fashion business, which I then also went down south, and so kind of what was left, but at that stage I'd already written 4 books, and I thought, actually, I really want to write, and but do something different.
So what in terms of your books then? Because you say you've already written 4, so this one's the 5th.
That's 5th,
yeah. It's because I haven't read. I'm going to hands up, completely honest. The other 4, is there a theme? Are they fiction? Are they non-fiction?
Well, there's definitely a theme, but the problem is you kind of just said it was a family broadcast, so
okay.
I'll be careful how I go about this, because there's definitely a theme. So I wrote my first book, I think, 2007, which was just called The New Bodyguard, which was a book about the bodyguarding business, but about the lifestyle. It doesn't talk about clients or anything, about the dedication and the training and everything involved, and licensing, etc., etc. Well, I was never happy with it, so I revisited that again in 2010. So it was the same title, but a complete rewrite with a different ISBN code. So effectively, it was 2 books.
Okay.
And then I wrote 2 adult comedy books, and one of them, this is where I have to choose my words carefully, one of them last year got into the top 500 bestsellers on Amazon, and it was called Jim, and it's a word that rhymes with banker.
Yep.
And I've got to be careful I don't repeat that too many times, because the word banker and the other word can go together in tandem quite easily.
You sent me an invite to the group yesterday, or the page of that, and I was like, what's this? It's a potty mouth tirade of... do you know, I think I've got a copy of it here, and that doesn't help anyone who's listening, but it will kind of give you guys a flavour of it. But it was kind of a potty mouth tirade of, if you go into the gym and you see these incredible people who are very special,
But then in doing that, and from a lifetime of being in the gym, you could kind of work out that maybe you are a gym banker as well.
I'm now thinking of like bus banker.
It's funny you should say that, because that was the follow-up.
Isn't it bus stop?
Right, actually, this is a very
This
is a very damaged copy because it's been in my bag for a while, but it'll give you an idea. And within that book, there are 60 different types of bankers. This is more difficult than it sounds. This isn't live, you can edit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 60 different type of bankers, from the sweaty banker, long socks banker.
You should see the effort he's going through right now not to swear.
The Donald Trump hair maneuver banker. Oh my God. And it's and vomiting banker. And it goes on and on and on, and I think I can say this, pubes banker, and you know, it's.
I'm looking at them all now.
Yeah,
is this your grading levels?
There's a lot of bankers. And
there is.
I love the font, by the way.
What you do, thank you. What you do is you have there's a banker scale. So what you do is, if you've been in the gym for a long time, or even if you haven't, you will be a banker. There's no doubt about it. Actually, this is getting quite easy. I can do this. I didn't know you were going to ask me questions about this. And so I class myself as a level 3 class banker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah. Which is actually an amateur effort on the gym banker scale, because you could be a level 10 Maximus.
I was going to say Maximus.
Banker.
Bankamus.
Bankamus.
Despite my stature right now, I used to go to the gym quite a lot. I used to. There was a good year in my life where I was there.
You'd be a go to the gym twice in January banker then.
At the moment, yeah. Well, back in the day,
I'll start my diet next week banker.
Oh my God, I'm going to get this.
That's where I am right now. There was this guy that used to go to my gym. I used to call him Hulk because he was massive. Yeah, Hulk.
Oh, Hulk. I think you said Hulk.
And he was like, he had these like 58s.
Look at that one.
Which one's that? You'll have to show that to me.
That one.
Oh. Failure. Get out. Go and stand in the corner.
The banker's banker.
The banker's banker.
It's easy to say.
It's really hard.
What's the matter with you? Right, that's it. You're done now. Get out.
You're fired.
Out.
Get out.
You can edit that, can't you?
Yeah, I will. And you get like, so this guy Hulk, he was curling 58s or something, and he put them down, and I was getting my 12s or whatever it was. I was getting. I was like, oh my God, respect, man, they're big. And he looked at me and he just went. He's just like this really awkward smile and like laugh. And I was just like,
he's the groaning banker.
Oh yeah, he was one of these that's like, and then drop him on the floor, boom.
Or that's slam the dumbbells banker. Yeah, I mean, there was so the thing is, he's already checked off at least 2 banker scales, and so ideally, you work out how big a banker you are. And it's actually quite a useful thing. And then if you achieve a level 10 banker scale, you then put it on your CV. And just say, I can do this, and I got this degree, and I did that. And
it's brilliant.
I went on here and got a free bounty. They didn't offer me a coffee, mind, but I got a free bounty. You offer me a glass of water. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I was thinking hot drinks and electrical equipment.
What do you think I was going to do? Throw it at you?
I have no idea.
That's funny.
I lost my train of thought now. I forgot what I was saying.
Do you want a coffee?
No, I was only joking. Actually, it might be a good idea. Then she'll stop swearing on air.
Don't. I feel bad about that now.
There is a certain gym etiquette, and like with Facebook and the memes, I think so, because like
really?
there's the Mrs. Texty, get off the machine if you're not using it.
Oh yeah, the phone banker.
Yeah. There's the sweaty, not using a towel on a machine.
Oh, that really bugs me. Yeah, there was a gym in town, and. There was this guy that used to go in there, and he was like a sweat machine. And also, he was one of those guys who had like really hairy shoulders. So even after he's done his CV and he's done his thing, it's like a spider on each shoulder, which kind of reflects in the light, and it's not a good look. It really isn't. And then so he'd be sweating his bits off. Making a mess all over the bloody machine. And then he'd have a flannel, like a flannel, size of what's that?
Yeah.
Big, not much bigger than A4.
Typical flannel, yeah.
And then he'd just wipe his forehead, leave it all the sweat all over the machine, walks off with his shiny shoulders, And you just kind of think, dude, can you not see what we're seeing?
Yeah.
You know.
Probably not. So, how did you go from gym banker
Oh, well done.
to crazy cat lady?
Well, I didn't. I went from gym banker to drive-in banker. That was the sequel.
Right.
I don't have a copy of that with me.
I would
I'm gonna have
love
to
to
write-
read Driving Banker.
I'm going to read all of them.
Well, there's only the two because it gets depressing in life when you write about bankers too much. And realising that actually you are one yourself.
This reminds me of a book I read when I was younger called How to Be an Idiot. And it gave you like a guide on how to park like an idiot, how to do this thing like an idiot, how to do that thing and it was basically like tongue in cheek.
I think, but they're effective self-help books, don't you think? Do you know what the Gym Banker book? This guy he's wrote a review on Amazon. He wrote a review on Amazon about it, and I'm trying to remember the exact words. And he put, "Why is this not an international bestseller?" Question mark. Well, I don't know, dude, but go on. And anyway, but he said this review. He said, "I bought this for my girlfriend for Christmas last year."
As in that one, the gym one.
Yeah, the gym one, yeah. And he said, "I bought this for my girlfriend. We split up, so she didn't get the book, so I read it. And I was meant to spend all last Christmas and New Year in tears, but I wasn't. I was in tears of laughter because it's just one of the best things I've ever read."
Excellent.
And I felt that, that's a self-help book. I got him through his depression, his breakup, by reading about gym bankers.
That's really cool.
Now, if he'd written if he'd actually read the driving one, then if you're not a gym banker, then chances are you are a driving one.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already seen a couple just coming into town, and so go on.
Do you know what? Speaking of that, I have had the worst morning ever. I was coming into the car park behind me and I scratched my rear wheel arch coming on the wall. I was like, I'm the best parker you'll ever meet. I'm really intricate with it, but that one occasion I've scratched my car and I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm so annoyed.
It's done, isn't it?
That's it. Happens.
But with the driving one, I just thought, okay, what can we do here? And so there's 69 different bankers in that one, and what this does is, instead of you getting out the car when somebody really grinds your gears, instead of getting out and just knocking them out, you just actually, do you know what? This is actually going to stop my road rage. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tick off that I've seen you and I've met you.
I was going to ask that.
Brilliant.
And, I haven't broke your nose or kicked your lights in. Actually, what I've done is, I've looked at you and went,
You're going in my book.
you may well give me the middle digit, but you are a banker, son. And not just that, I've earned points for spotting you. And so off he goes thinking, I've had a great day. Well, in fact, you know what, I've had better. I might not have knocked you out.
That's what's going to happen now, isn't it?
It's like I Spy for adults.
Well, we're definitely going to get that book, and then we're going to put that challenge to each other. We'll play it.
We're going to have to, I'm going to have to get some sort of like merit certificates for somebody who spots all 69.
Yeah.
I work nights in Telford, and so in the morning, especially Monday mornings are the worst. I drive from Telford to Shrewsbury, and down that A5 you see so many bankers.
Yeah.
We're not as good as you, Kevin. We're obviously really thinking about that.
This is the first time I've ever had a chat about bankers. I had a really late night last night as well, because the bag's under my eyes, and so I think I'm handling this all right.
Yeah, you are.
We're doing all right.
So is that how you did this gym thing then? You were at the gym and you just noting down these things, or did you go do a bit of research?
No. In classic Jim Banker style, I was in a pub and with a mate, and he was describing this guy in the gym. And he just said, God, that guy, he's such a banker. And I just thought, do you know what? Yeah, he is. And I just thought, and I started saying to him, do you know, I saw this guy doing this. And particularly short shorts banker. That's just a really sort of, that is a very distracting, in a very negative way of masculinity, when you see the guy walking through the gym and being short shorts banker, and then thinking that he looks like an amazing dude, where actually he just looks like a banker. And then he goes and talks to all of the women, and of course they're looking at him saying, didn't think you were actually into women anyway, because look at those. It's a very confusing time, very confusing place. And so I came up with short shorts banker, and then like this guy, and he started talking to me. He said, "Oh, I've read your book; it's brilliant." And he didn't realise that he was short shorts banker. And so just
Are those little personal victories for you, though? When you see someone that you've put in your book and they don't know it?
Yeah, if they are an enormous banker, I think this is one of the things. Now, this is one of the things. This is very important for anybody who's an author or who wants to be an author. Here's a lesson in life: never upset authors, because we will write about you. Okay, and so that's an undeniable fact, because you are giving us life experience. And if you're a banker, chances are at some point I'm going to write about you. Yeah. And so it wasn't sort of a mental victory or anything, unless they were an enormous banker, and you just kind of think, you know.
Ricky Gervais, I think it was, that was said something like that. He said, like, don't annoy me because you'll be in one of my shows. I will write a character based on you.
I didn't know that, but that is so true.
Brilliant. Yeah. So going from these brilliant books, by the way, we've done this very short notice, this last thing, so I haven't had a chance to research everything, but these things
I know where I'm going when I get home. Amazon. I'm looking for these books.
You're going to Amazon and then you're going straight to the gym, work out how big a banker you are.
Yeah. No.
All right, you can look at other people and just sit there and have a Mars bar and a pint. And this is the thing. This is the thing with commercial gyms as well. There are bars in them, and so you're just like, oh, do you want a protein shake? No, I'll have a Guinness. Cheers. Yeah, I just burnt 50 calories, so let me have 400 calorie Guinness, large, with a Scotch chaser.
With some nachos.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, why not? We'll have I'll have some nachos, but I won't have extra salt because I'm in the gym. I won't put sugar on them.
I've got a friend.
Have you got like diet cheese?
I've got a friend Gareth who runs marathons. He goes everywhere, and whenever he does a run, he'll go to the pub afterwards. I'm like, oh, fair play.
So basically, he's a marathon banker.
Yeah. Have you got one for cyclists?
I bet.
They're in the drive-in banker book.
I bet they are.
Along with Caravan Banker, and in fact, because it's, I'm trying to remember the full title of my own book, isn't that daft? Yeah. Drive-in banker, observations in your banker chariot. Sending caravans to France and creating a new religion is the subtitle. And that's because, you know when you see those stickers, like it says, God is my passenger. Or powered by fairy dust. And then you've got...
my other car is a Porsche or something.
Oh, there's Porsche Banker in there, all right. Yeah, Porsche Banker's in there. And then it's I've got child on board. Why do people say I've got child on board? I wasn't going to drive into you. Well, why are you advertising that you don't want me to drive into you? What's the difference? I haven't come out to have a crash today. I'm not in the Volvo with extra padding, and we can crash it and everyone will be safe. Or I will be. I just don't get it. So why advertise? Why advertise? I've got a child on board. So what? You produced. Well done. You got laid. Awesome. Don't care. I just don't care. And, in fact, if I might crash into you because I'm reading your bloody sticker instead of you actually keeping an eye on the road. What's it all about? Humans are weird.
They are strange. You must have a section for good Beamer drivers, because there is that one. I saw one the other day and he was so good. He was like behind me, and I was thinking, oh, he's going to be at my backside. And he wasn't. Yeah. And then he indicated and everything. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
They do exist.
The godly Beamer driver, the one true Beamer driver.
Maybe somebody just nicked it and thought, I don't want to create attention, but in fact they actually did by driving it too well.
Yeah, too well.
Yeah. Or it always said unmarked police car. Actually, they often don't indicate either. No. Coppers often don't indicate. Do you know what? Actually, the driving book, a copper wrote to me through my website the other day and bought it for another copper and wanted me to sign it personally with some abuse about what a banker driver he was, and he obviously goes out there and nicks guys on the motorway.
Oh right, okay,
and so the
traffic cop then,
I guess, and they kind of the unit had bought this book for him, and they wanted this personal inscription. So, police, if you're listening, you are not exempt from. You can be bankers as well at times.
Or he's part of the armed response unit.
Well, I would hope not, because what I had to write was not very complimentary. Okay, so it would suggest he wasn't very good.
Didn't quite make it into that division then.
No. He's second league. He ain't Premier League. I think that's maybe the thing. He's too much of a.
Probably not wise to poke fun at guys that carry MP5s.
No. Otherwise, you have to be the very fast banker, don't you?
Yeah.
So going from these books to writing something that is based in Shrewsbury, I guess you've had to do some research, like proper research.
What makes you think the bankers aren't based in Shrewsbury? I mean, they're everywhere. Seriously.
I could send that to my best friend in Vermont, and he would understand, I imagine. Whereas this one is, you said it's based in Shrewsbury. Where'd you go from writing these brilliant satirical books to this?
I think a very vivid imagination.
Yeah.
20 years of listening to thrash metal and drink too much, and I think you put the whole lot together and you come up with a book where cats can talk to each other. I mean, it makes common sense, doesn't it? I work with politicians as well, no wonder it's all messed up. But yeah, I mean, basically, it's you can see it's a big book. It's 155,000 words long. Took 13 months to write. Actually, it's a very serious book, whereas the other books are obviously clearly not serious. Yeah. This actually is young adult to adult. It's the first time I've written commercial fiction because the banker books are fact. No doubt about that. And so it's got some of my personal interests in it. And so it goes back to the times of ancient Egypt and mythology and bringing those things from early Greek periods and from Egyptian periods and bringing it straight into the heart of Shrewsbury, which was a really difficult thing to do. And so Mildred is this lovely lady who leads a very innocent, very plain and boring life. Nothing going on, not of any attention or interest to anyone really. But she's given this cat by a complete stranger. But the cat is no ordinary cat, and she's encouraged to join this cat club, and it's no ordinary cat club. And it goes back to the times of ancient Egypt that you've got these extraordinary women who've worked behind closed doors, and which is why it's K.S. Horak and not Kevin Horak. One, because it's primarily aimed at female readers, and also because some of the other things that I've written really don't tie together. And Mildred's kind of brought into this really quite dark world, and that's why it's kind of really young adult to adult, because it does deal a lot with life after death and things like that, and so some of the Egyptian beliefs and things like that, and there's references and twists and turns throughout the whole of the story to kind of those periods of time.
Was there a serious sort of research period before you wrote this, or did you just come out of your head?
The early phases just came out of my head, and but as it got darker, as naturally my style of writing would, I tried to think hundreds of hours of research, more possibly, I don't know. And because even just things which might be a paragraph, might only be 2 lines, 3 lines, you might spend hours researching something to try and make it factually correct. And so what I've done is there are aspects of genuine historical events, and I've taken some of those events, a couple of them, put them in here, and then rewritten some of those things actually to make it suit the story. That actually those events happened because of something within this story. And so it was a really difficult
I can imagine. From my personal experience, I mean, I started writing a book. I always talk about this book. One day maybe I'll write it, but the synopsis is in my underwear drawer actually. But it was based in America in the 1920s.
I just got a mental picture. Did you?
I'm just like, why did you just say that?
I don't know why he said about his underwear drawer.
I have to say, I didn't realise men had underwear drawers.
I'm very organised.
We do actually, but I was just wondering, is that where he keeps his big boy pants as well? What else is in there? I just got this unfortunate. Yeah, maybe it was because we were talking about me being an adult entertainer with that moustache you got. I just got this uncomfortable.
Don't make me get the synopsis out. I'll read it to you. I'll tell you.
Anyway, so you were in your. We established he was in his underwear drawer. He's in his underwear drawer. Right. Okay.
Well, this story is based in 1920s America, and then it jumps to like the 90s, the late 90s. So I had to do like research. I had to find a sleepy town in America.
Yeah.
in the 1920s and base it off that, and then go back to the late 90s.
What, you're trying to bring sort of prohibition into it or something? Or, that was the topic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you about it afterwards, because if I put it on air now, I might get a few complaints because it's quite a raw story.
Okay.
But the research aspect of things, I mean, you probably did a lot more because you've actually finished the book, whereas mine
yours is in the underwear drawer.
How long did it take you to put this together?
13 months.
Really?
And is that 13 months of straight writing?
That's a full-time effort, Monday to Friday.
Really?
Sometimes get starting at 4 a.m., sometimes finishing 4 a.m. But I usually write in 3-4 hour blocks, and then I'm exhausted. It just depends how I kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
But in perspective, I know we're talking more seriously now, but the Gym Banker book took me 2 weeks, and that was just in the evenings. Because I was still working then. I was just planning my retirement. I hate saying that word. I sound like an old knacker, but from the executive protection business. And so in the perspective, and then the driving one took 3 weeks. That took 13 months full time to write that story. So as a perspective, it's
is that with the DJing as well?
Well, yeah, the DJing just takes place at the kind of at the weekends. And it's kind of a bit of a fun thing because when I used to have my record label, I just took to it really quickly. A couple of friends of mine are very active as DJs, and they kind of trained me, and I just kind of took to it. So I sort of do VIP events and play a few of the bars in town.
I was going to say, do you play locally?
Yeah,
DJ locally.
I'm a DJ banker at a venue near you, probably. But yeah, I've played a lot of the venues in town, but it's never kind of as a residency. So whether it been Ashley's, Platform, Morgan's,
Albert's,
Fever.
Shit.
No, never played Albert's.
Okay.
Where else? Just a mental block. AOPO. I'm at the OPO in a couple of weeks' time, I think. And so quite a few places in town. My mind's just gone blank.
Any particular sort of music that you're DJing with there?
There's what I like to play and there's what people want to hear.
Yeah, of course.
And they're two totally different things. So, first of all, as somebody who's loved punk and metal from the age of sort of 13, I think I've only ever been booked once or twice specifically to play that music. But actually what I really enjoy playing is the 90s club classics period, the Ibiza classics, Fantasia.
Yeah, that's my era.
Do you cringe at Mr. Brightside? Because it's everywhere, every time you go out. And Sex on Fire.
Do you know what? I can get on with those. And a friend of mine who's a DJ, if he's playing in town, if I walk in, he does it to annoy me. Brian Bloody Adams and Summer of '69 just makes me want to chew my own fist. And Mooney, the DJ, and just walk out in a huff. But he does that if he sees me just to annoy me. That bugs me. What else? And it's just the stereotypical stuff. And so so people do book me specifically to play those sort of club classics periods.
Cool. I'll find out when you're next playing.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's usually private bookings because I can't do that in town.
How frustrating! People don't know what they're missing.
Well, yeah, and this is but from the licensee's point of view, I'm here to sell beer. I'm here to sell gin or whatever it is. And if you've got everyone dancing all night, there's no beer sales, and so it's a trade-off. It is a trade-off. So as it's not just DJing and reading the people, and reading who you're playing to. You've also got to think of the house.
Yeah.
Before I go, I'll make a note because there's an opportunity where I might be able to get you in on a private event that is all the old original sort of house classics.
Brilliant. I just want to check. Are you performing there with that moustache? Is it one of those events?
No, this is.
It's not one of those events.
This is linked into the mountain biking
will be
world.
long.
Okay. Don't tell them about my driving banker book.
No, I won't.
Because that's the cyclist.
Don't worry, mountain bikers aren't on the road.
They're not. No.
Tucked away in the mountains.
This is true.
Well, if you like, send me like an email or a message of what you want me to send, and I'll send it through to you, or do it via the
biscuit email.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problems. Yeah,
that'd be great. Are you going to shoot now? How much time?
Trying to get rid of me. Actually, I am well timed.
Yeah, I was conscious.
I do need to go. I need to get my lift out of town. So
we'll
Perfect.
We'll carry on for a bit.
Perfect. Yep.
Thank you very much, Julie.
No, thank you. And I shall listen to the rest of this, obviously, when it's... when are we dropping this one through?
Wednesday, I believe.
After he's done your editing from your bad language,
I think you'll find I did that once.
I do it all the time.
Awesome. I'm going to sign out now, then.
Okay.
Ladies.
Thank you, Julie. Much love.
Nice to meet you.
So... Yeah, DJing. What do you prefer? Is there like a mood or a mode that you got to be in to write? Which one do you prefer? Is there a night where you're like, oh yeah, let's go and do some DJing, or is it like, would you prefer to sit down with a glass of whiskey and write? What's your favourite thing to do?
I'd always rather sit down with a glass of whiskey. I mean, full stop, irrespective. So I love Scotch, but much for writing.
Yeah.
Truth be told, for me with DJing, it's who you're playing to, and if people are nice to me, if the vibe is really good, fine. But if people have been drinking all day and then you catch them late at the night and they're wobbling everywhere and they're collapsing on your gear and stuff like that, my temperament's not so good for that.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't motivate me to
the crazy hen do's and things. I can imagine. Right. So your book, I love the idea of this book. I can't wait to get into it. It's out now. It's available now to buy.
Yeah, $7.99, and it's available not just through my website, kevinhorak.com, but also Waterstones, Amazon, and in fact, Waterstones, as I understand it, is just given a national account approval for this title. So, which is amazing. So they're going to take some doing. Good. So yeah, hopefully it will do really well.
How easy is it just to write a book based in Shrewsbury? It's just so convenient, isn't it? I mean, is this where you're from? Are you from Shrewsbury originally?
I've lived here since, giving away my age, since 1990. Yeah. I'm originally from down south. I met a girl from Shrewsbury and moved up here.
Yeah. I've met a couple of authors that I just find it so easy to write about this town because it's just easy to fit in. It's so much to write about, so much to,
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious history here. There's a feel for it everywhere you go, and if you've got that kind of creative thing going on, then I think it is very helpful. Yeah, I think if we, in fact, while writing this book, I would speak to my fiancée when we were walking through town and stuff, and I wouldn't comment on the beautiful architecture. I'd comment more on the awful concrete block that's next to that beautiful piece of history, which it just looks like some sort of 60s disaster. Yeah. And they probably knocked down something beautiful to put it there. Yeah. And it's a shame that we've got this amazing architecture here, then surrounded at times by these awful concrete blocks, but there you go.
I mean, we were talking about, it sounds like a very boring conversation, but it actually sparked like imagination. It was talking about the bus station. Somebody was like, we need a modern bus station with a glass lift, and we need this, that, and the other. And I was like...
So we need a what bus station?
A modern bus station.
Oh, modern, right, okay.
Something like, and I was like, would that fit in Shrewsbury then? And I was like, actually, do you know what it might do? Because Shrewsbury's all about innovation, isn't it? Charles Darwin, evolution. So, I don't know, maybe there's some spot there. But, the inspiration Shrewsbury, it obviously runs through your book. And, I want to say thank you for writing this book that's based on this town, I'm sure people are going to enjoy it.
Well, you've not read it yet. You might not like it.
I don't care. It could be the worst book ever, but you chose the town to...
Well, you see, Mildred lives in Shrewsbury, and the Cat Club, which is actually called the Horde of Light, is a worldwide organisation. And although she meets with them, the pyramids are referred to throughout, and often through numbers in the book. So Mildred is what's known as the 9th degree elder.
Oh, wow.
But she doesn't know that. And then if you get promoted, you then become an 8th degree elder. And every time you got the ranks, you get a new cat. And so Mildred just has her one cat, which she called her cat Missy. But the cat's real name is Nala, because every cat has a real name. And that's a big theme of this book. That why we can't communicate with cats sometimes, or they don't seem to want to communicate with you. Yeah. So in actual fact, we don't know their real names.
Is there a conspiracy there about what cats are talking about? Is there something like you shouldn't be listening to their conversations?
Well, I would hope so, because that makes this book more effective. If there is a conspiracy.
There's this great episode of Rick and Morty. It was one of my favourite shows where Morty gets this thing where he can hear what animals are talking about. You know, he can.
Oh, yeah, I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's amazing, and he's going around. He's looking at birds and he's looking at dogs and things like that. And then he catches the squirrels, and they're like planning things in Cartagena. And they're talking about their plans, and then they look at Morty. He's like, "Is that kid listening to us?" And then they follow him all the way home. And as he's getting closer and closer to home, there's more and more squirrels. And then he gets home, and his grandpa, as a scientist, is kind of like, "We need to move planets now. We need to. You mess with the squirrels, man. You don't mess with the squirrels." It's a fantastic.
In fact, we do have a squirrel in this book as well.
Yeah.
Sam the squirrel, yeah, and but he's a
fantastic.
He's a fool. He's a complete fool.
Well, guys, make sure you check out this book because I'm going to read the hell out of this. I'm going to start.
Well, I think it should be in stock in Waterstones in town. I've got to pop in there and see them after I've spoken to you. Yeah. I think within the next couple of days. Apparently, they have ordered it, and they spoke to me on the phone a couple of days ago and said, yeah, it's going to be in the Shrewsbury store. So. And
you say it's recommended for young adults to adults.
I was very surprised. I wrote it on the basis of young adults to adult, but when we did the book launch party a couple of weeks ago, which was really good, over 100 people came. If I'd known you then, obviously I didn't know you then.
Yeah, that's fine.
We had over 100 people came. I gave a speech badly. My fiance did a reading nervously, and our mayor Phil also gave a speech as well. But it was, and we did that at 10 and 6 Mardor at the Champagne Bar there, and which George, a friend of mine, owns. And what was interesting is that adults were buying this book, and then they write to me some days later and say their kids, that was like 7, 8, and 9 years old, have already nicked it off of them and are getting on with it. And I did just say, you do realise there are some dark themes. There's a couple of the characters don't make it to the end.
Yeah.
And so, and they said they were fine with that, because if you think about the Potter series, also had dark themes, and sort of young people are reading that, and there's no bad language as such within I think
that it's drip fed as well into kids. I was reading my little boy, the gingerbread man, run as fast as you can.
Oh, yeah.
Gets eaten by a fox at the end. Like that just gently kind of introduces.
Well, do you know what? Yeah, when you think about old fables and old nursery rhymes, and actually when you break it down, you ever think about it as a kid, you think actually that's quite violent. That's actually quite scary.
Rapunzel. this girl's been like abused and locked in a tower.
So no wonder I turned out so badly. That's our education
Hansel
system.
and Gretel, all these stories that they are quite morbid when you think about them, and so I think that's fine. And I'm going to read it. I'll let you know. I'll read it and I'll.
Please do if you like it. Give it a thumbs up on Amazon.
Has this sparked like a new inspiration for you? Is there a new drive now to make something similar to this, or are you going to go back to doing the?
This is the first of a series.
Oh, sorry. Oh, really? So you've already got it planned out?
I wouldn't say that. There are purposely. I mean, the book was 452 pages long anyway. There are still a lot of things unanswered, and if you wanted to write about this order that goes back to the time of the Egyptians, it'd be a 3,000-page book, which makes it not commercially viable.
No.
Nobody's going to buy a book like that, particularly from an unknown author like me. So, it's...
Put this out, get the feelers.
There's a lot of things that are unanswered, and it's nice that a couple of people have already reviewed it on Amazon saying, waiting for the follow-up, and just, God, I've just finished this one. And so, I'm really, really pleased with that. But... it would probably take another year to...
So it's good that you've had a good bit of feedback as well. That's really good.
Yeah, very, very, very happy with it. Very happy, yeah.
Well, look, thank you so much for joining us on this show.
Sorry?
I mean, I'd love to let people know where they can find you. So obviously the website, kevinhorak.com.
Yeah, H-O-R-A-K.
H-O-R-A-K.
No double R's or double C's. So, kevinhorak.com, but also, so you can find it at Mildred, Crazy Cat Lady, find it at Waterstones, Amazon, the usual.
There's a Facebook page as well. There is a Facebook page.
There is, yes. I think it's just Mildred Crazy Cat.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
That's another one you invited me to and I was like, what is this? Until context, Alex.
Keep him busy.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a really nice chat. I think you're a great guy. I think I'd love to get you on again and talk about whatever else you're writing, whatever you're doing, and you've got our support.
I appreciate that. And thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It's just nice to do something just laid back and just. We've never met before.
No.
We talk like we've known each other for ages, and that's kind of a really good thing.
That's what we specialise in. I mean, a lot of people come on the Biscuit and they're like, oh no, I can't talk in front of a microphone. But usually we'd offer you a hot drink or something, and we'd just sit and we'd chat.
I just got bad language off your co-presenter, Jules.
Potty mouth.
She's terrible.
But thank you very much. Guys, if you do want to check out the book, check out what we just mentioned, the website, Facebook, Waterstones. It's a really cool book that's based around Shrewsbury, and sounds like it's got an amazing story. And, drop us your comments, what you think about it. Let Kevin know, of course, first. But, I'd love to be able to chat about this book with you guys.
Well, actually, I think one of the things I do like about it is the feel of it as well. And Bell and Bain in Glasgow made this book. They printed the book, and they're the same company that make all the Game of Thrones books and David Walliams books and things like that. And so it's just a lovely feel to it. And it has a nice smell. It has that off the press smell, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which you will never get from a print on demand book or something like that.
I was going to say, actually, there's a bit of a David Walliams sort of feel about the cover, because he has that wacky sort of
well, the fonts that he uses. Yeah.
Do you want to give your artist a shout as well, the guy who did the cover for you?
Yeah, he doesn't live around here, but I'll tag him in it if you posted something that says Lyndon White.
Yeah.
And he was also the same guy that did the artwork from the
Jib Banker.
The Banker books.
Well, thank you very much. You've been a great guest, and we'd love to get you on again.
We did well. We did all of that without swearing.
We did, but Julie.
We did, yeah.
What we're going to do. Guys, this has been a great episode, and if you've got any suggestions, you've got any comments, make sure you drop us an email. Our email is shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors who are making us a beautiful looking website, and it's going to launch soon, and that's the guys at Web Orchard. Thank you for all the hard work you're doing, because I'm useless at these computers, and helping me out with that. So thank you very much, and we can catch us next week. And peace out. Thank you.
Thank you.